Yep.
That's
That's
annoying.
fully and well disconnected.
Yeah. I guess a hiccup in my internet or something, and that
Yeah.
caused everything. Which is a shame because I have fiber optic internet, and we're
Yeah.
back.
Well, we we'd have to end the stream in about 10 minutes anyway.
Oh yeah, I haven't been looking at the clock. We are back, so we'll just finish off. Don't need any more articles. We can just finish off.
Whatever you want to do is fine. I'm fine with anything.
Well, people are gonna not be here. But
Ah,
there were two quick things I wanted to cover. One thing was so we found a shimmering black rock that is actually a 2,000-year-old piece of exploded brain. Yeah! We just discovered that this rock is really the brain of a Roman cult member that was shocked solid by high heat, who died during a volcanic catastrophe
event.
in an ancient city. And as you can see here, it looks like a high gloss piece of like marble or something. But no, they did the appropriate testing and found out it was a piece of brain. Guy's fucking head exploded, yo.
Gross.
Hey, James. And yeah, the last thing I wanted to cover is so Knights of the Old Republic is apparently back in development for a new uh, sequel of sorts. Um,
Just call it a reboot. It's just gonna be a
Well,
reboot. That's all it
Cinelinx,
is.
which has correctly leaked Star Wars related news in the past, claims the games will be less of a remake and more of a sequel of sorts. Leakers also say the project would include elements from the first KOTOR games to align with the Star Wars canon as it sits right now. Think reimagining more than remake. I'm
So,
okay
in
with
other
that
words, they're gonna
because
take a beloved game and just turn it into
well, no,
shit.
no, 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 no. Because hear me out. Hear me out. This is where my optimism is coming into play. Because Knights of the Old Republic did that at the outset. Is that they reimagined Star Wars in a more medieval kind of setting. So less Western, more medieval, but still with large capital ships and space and craziness going on and space wizards with lightsabers. So what they did now, I mean, yes, there's a pessimistic side of me that says, well, they're owned by Disney now.
Yeah.
That there has been a lot of fuck ups as far as the Star Wars brand has gone under the direction of Kathleen Kennedy and EA. But those things that have gone on the video game side of things, mostly with EA and DICE, have been technical and more development issues rather than sort of, I guess, storytelling or canonical issues. Because with the latest game, the what was the last Star Wars game? The name always escapes me.
Fallen Jedi or
Fallen
something.
Order, Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
It was actually a pretty decent story. Um, so I'm leaning a little bit more onto the optimistic side, but don't mistake that for blind optimism because they can easily fuck it up. The great thing about those games is there are a plethora of mods out there to at least bring them into the 20 teens.
Mm.
Updated graphics. People are constantly developing new quest packs, new crazy things to do with your characters. This is why I love gaming in the modern year because the modding is so great.
Modding is the best thing to happen to games because games don't need to be technical achievements. They just need to be developed. And the problem with modern game makers is they're more interested in technical achievements than they are in actually making a solid story or
Well
solid
playable
gameplay.
product. Yeah, yeah. Good
Yes.
interaction, a
Which
fun
is
game.
which is why I'm actually hopeful when I hear all these stories about video games that are getting delayed, because to me that says, okay, we saw what happened with Fallout 76. We're gonna take the hint. We're just gonna take a little bit of extra time and make this a good game, and then maybe it will look like what's that one? No Man's Sky present date as opposed to No Man's Sky on release.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, we definitely saw like a massive backlash because they didn't release a solid, stable, fun product. Um, I give that company its due props for sticking with it though, and giving us modern day No Man's Sky, because a lot of these game companies will put the product out and then just kind of wipe their hands clean of it and move on
Yeah,
to the next project and not really give a shit.
yeah, and I'm hoping that No Man's Sky, because from what I've learned, success is generally a double-edged sword. On one hand, you get a nice product. On the other hand, people want to mimic it. And usually, when a cynical corporate type mimics a good product, they take out all the wrong elements, all the things that didn't make it a success, instead of the things that did make it a success.
Mm-hmm.
And so I worry that when people look at No Man's Sky, uh, I think that when people look at No Man's Sky, it's very difficult to miss the things that ultimately made it successful in the end, because it has kind of a story that goes along with it. Because when it started out, it was very unsuccessful because it had a lot of the same faults that modern AAA games have. But then they took the time and developed it, and they looked at the things, they listened to their fans, they did all that sort of crazy shit.
And they didn't act
And
greedy and say, "Hey, to get the new like content, pay us more money." They were like, "Okay, we're a little bit sorry that it wasn't what was sort of promised and expected by the community and our consumers. We're
I
gonna do better, and here it is all gratis."
and I'll be honest with you, I haven't played it yet, but as soon as I get the money to do so, I'm gonna give it a try, because I actually bought the game at one point and then returned it,
A lot
because
of people did, yeah.
yeah. Well, I didn't buy it straight out the gate. I bought it when I saw it on sale, like 50% off, and then I realized that $30 was just too much money. And then uh, but then I saw the Internet Historian's video on it. Did you watch that?
No, I didn't.
Have you ever seen any of Internet Historian's stuff?
Couple things. I haven't seen too much. I mean,
Oh,
like I
he's
know what he's about, and
yeah.
it's
I
dude,
find his
dude,
shit
dude.
to
There's
be
only so
really
much I can watch. Okay, you want me to watch all this anime, and now you want me to watch some new YouTube channel, and then you want me to watch your show, and it's just like, oh my god,
I never
oh
told you
my
to
god.
watch my show. I don't tell any. That's one of the things that I love
You
about
actually discourage people from what? No, I'm just kidding.
No, no, no. I don't discourage people, but people worry that I'm gonna get offended if I don't watch their show. That they're like, "Hey, I gotta do this thing. I'm sorry, I can't watch your show." And I'm like,
No, I.
"That's fine. Don't worry about it. It's a show. It's no big deal. If you can watch it, that's great. If you can't watch it, I'm not gonna like chase you down or anything."
Yeah, just like the common sort of accepted the way that people are treating, $5 girl. You don't
Yeah.
have $5 a month for this
Oh yeah.
content.
Yeah,
That
that's the one.
bitch. It's that mind of, yeah, sure, if you can financially, but you know what? I'm the same way with anybody who wants to watch and listen to me and my chucklehead virtual friends talk about bullshit for a couple hours a week. I'm just thankful that they're here and want to watch and talk.
Yeah.
Oh my
if
god.
you if you get into a game like this, you cannot expect people to give you money. You just can't. It's ridiculous, because
Well,
the
look at how
thing is
bad
that people can choose what they have their money go to, and in order for their money to go to you, they have to think that you are particularly exceptional.
yeah, yeah. And
And
what Star Citizen is a good example of them completely fucking people over. I have a friend who literally backed them for several $1,000s, and he still hasn't gotten the game that he was promised.
yeah,
And that's a real tragedy that can go basically that can happen.
at
Um,
at,
and
at
it
this
gives a
point
bad
though,
name to a lot of other developers who might actually could have used that money and put out a product that they promise.
this is why at the beginning, you can't ask for massive amounts of money for a fundraiser. You have to start small. You have to make sure that the person you're backing has smaller projects that have been more successful. If you just go out straight out the gate and ask for a big thing
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have a long history of being able to deliver, then you can't complain when your product doesn't get delivered because you didn't have that sort of reliable thing you don't have that reputation, or you weren't backing your money against something that was reputable. You were backing your money against a risk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when people promise massively over the top things for a game and you don't necessarily have that reputation, shit's gonna hit the fan. It's almost inevitable.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, look who decided to show back up for the last little bit of the stream.
2 minutes.
How's the mummers? She good?
She is very good. I came
Probably
at the
happy
right
now
time.
that she can have a cup of coffee. Oh yeah.
Well, she can have a cup of coffee, and she loaned my brother and I some money, so we also got smokes out of the deal. So it was nice. I mean,
You're
I mean,
such
that
a
was part of the
Canadian
reason why.
stereotype.
Well, I mean, I try to help them out
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
best of my abilities,
just
but
teasing.
the amount of money that I get from the government, like, I don't even know how I'm gonna go about it because like I get enough to pay my rent and my bills and like maybe $100 to spare for like anything else I could possibly need, like food, And they're like, just go to the food bank, and I'm like, yeah, okay, for like pasta.
And they
You know,
don't
I mean,
they
they
don't
do
seem to
have.
realize, yeah, you're not going to get proper nutrition. I mean, you get some mostly starches for your belly, but it's with the cost of living, it's enough to cover your rent and, like you said, have a little left over for food, and to not only go to those food banks is going to cost you money.
Mhm.
You're not going to, I mean, it's very hard to live off of that. And I understand welfare is a temporary solution and you don't want to be stuck on it, but it has to at least keep up with the inflation. However, the problem of the fact that we let so many people come into this country, and then the whole Syrian issue, those
Mhm.
refugees, the overwhelming majority of the ones we took in and gave a year's time to get a job, get acclimated, self-sufficient, have not. They're still on public assistance. It's kind of
Mhm.
like, okay, so we can't afford to pay our veterans properly. We can't afford to the upkeep on our current welfare system. So we're just going to shovel more people into the system. That's not good business. That's not
You
good
know,
math.
the thing that I would like to see at those offices too is like, okay, well, so obviously the problem I'm having is that I'm out of work. And I don't get me wrong, I realize that I'm not able to do every type of job. But like the first thing that they should be handing out are jobs that are government available jobs. You know? Like if they have street cleaners they're looking for, if they have people who change the garbages in the parks, they don't show you anything like that. You
Yeah.
have to look it up yourself. And I'm like, I get that. Like that's my responsibility. But like you would think that the one thing that they want you to do is get off of it, but you know that they don't really want you to get off of it. And it drives me nuts because I would like to get a job. I would clean garbage bags out of parks. I would, knowing they're full of crap, I would do that because at least it would give me a job.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Hi, Velkus.
Hey, Valkus.
Uh,
But unfortunately, we are at the end of the show.
yes.
So thanks for being my co-host for some of it, as always.
An hour and 2 minutes.
As
Thank you for helping, Jack.
I was just talking.
We like it when you talk. I like it when you talk.
Yeah, we had some fun conversations, and he actually recommended a couple animes that I'm gonna check out now after the stream. Of course, you can catch the Snow Mexicans next on Tuesday at 5:30 Eastern on Jen's channel, Snow Mexicans, the Snow Mexican channel. And of course, on Tuesday as well, Jack, take it away.
Quippers United. This week we will be having Hate Camel, Check Your Logic, most likely Cooler, and possibly Ghastly. And
Mr.
next
G-Dope
week,
himself.
and the following week on February 4th, we will be having Functional, Jen, and Elwin.
Woo!
Hooray! Because I'm so entertaining. And on that note, we have been your Snow Mexicans for today. I'd like to thank my guest. Oh my God. Why is my brain like failing me right now? I'd like to thank our guest, Jack Gunski, for showing up. He's oh so kind to me and comes at my behest when I'm so alone and afraid in this virtual world.
I'm just glad somebody wants me.
Oh yeah,
Jack, link your channel if you've got
the
it.
Oh, yeah.
links in.
Sure.
If you're not subbed to me, well, Jesus, what are you doing? You can sub to this channel.
I'm
But-
pretty sure almost everybody here is sub to me.
Probably. Yeah.
But yeah, sub to Jack, sub to Jen, and have a great night, everybody. Saturday, go get drunk. After the stream tonight, I'm probably gonna have a couple shots of whiskey and some nice dinner with Elwin. So, but good night, everybody. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Sorry for the technical difficulty.